CTV News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Michelle Maluske. After days of alarming air quality readings, it looks like the skies are going to start to clear. But as CTV's Jerry Dewan will tell us, the smoke is still having an impact on events in the city.
London's annual Rock the Park concert series had to cancel the first 2 nights of shows because of bad air quality readings. But just before 3 this afternoon, staff could be seen getting ready for this evening's show. And shortly after 3, it was announced the third night would be a go. That's not the case for every London happening.
We've had to make the tough decision around noon today that we are going to postpone or delay all events that would have occurred this evening.
Pride London was set for the opening night kickoff to a weekend filled with festivities, but decided to err on the side of caution.
We're considering the health impacts, especially to our performers on the stage. The advisory is not to have any extraneous exercise, so we're going to be not posing any health risk to those folks.
Hudson is confident Saturday's events and the Pride Parade on Sunday will be able to happen, the only concern being rain on Saturday. Friday events at city-run facilities have also been impacted by the smoke. The city has canceled a salsa dance night scheduled to take place this evening on Dundas Place. They say they don't want people out in these smoky conditions exerting themselves. The London Majors game at Labatt Park has also been postponed. First responders had to deal with the effects of smoke, prompting the OPP to encourage boaters to stay off the lake at night.
As we had an overdue boater, and the visibility was very poor because of the smoke that was coming in from the northern wildfires. So adding to the difficulty of seeing at night, add the smoke to that.
Many businesses had to make tough decisions that could impact their bottom line. The operator of Chuck's Roadhouse didn't want to appear on camera, but told CTV News that Chuck's closed their patio for the last 3 days to protect customer health. He says other patios were doing the same. Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
There are nearly 900 wildfires burning across this country tonight, threatening communities and wildlife alike, and billowing smoke across a massive chunk of North America. The situation is especially dire in Northern Ontario. Evacuation orders have been issued for a number of communities. Others must be ready to leave at a moment's notice. CTV's Heather Wright has the story.
So we got our building supplies.
With a massive forest fire burning about 5 kilometers away, Sean Dufresne has packed up whatever he can into his truck and trailer.
This is only the stuff that we can move. There's still 2 permanent residents that's going to burn.
The community of Uppsala is about 150 kilometers northwest of Thunder Bay. There's no evacuation order here, but people are being told to leave before things get worse.
There are a bunch of communities that have been overrun, and we could be one of them.
Uppsala Fire Chief Doug Keesbring says they are doing what they can to protect the town.
We'll put 1 sprinkler system on the roof.
Getting sprinklers in place to protect properties like the fire hall. But the town's resources are limited. And with so many fires burning, the province's resources are being stretched as well.
They have limited resources for a massive demand this year. This is probably the fire season of a lifetime.
And while rain this morning brought some reprieve, it was not enough.
We're just good for a little while. We bought a little bit of time, but we have in no way won the war.
Communities across the country are fighting battles against fierce and fast-moving wildfires. Roughly 900 fires are burning across the country, forcing thousands of people from their homes. Well, officials have promised more resources to battle the fires and help those affected by them. Many here in the north say they're not seeing enough action.
We might not be in southern Ontario, but we are in northwestern Ontario. You're still in Ontario. Like, do you not deserve some rights or something?
You feel forgotten?
I feel forgotten.
Today, Ontario's premier said more than 150 firefighters and over 80 water bombers and helicopters have been deployed to fight these fires. But with more than 190 burning across the province, including 20 new ones today alone, this is an ever-changing situation they are trying to respond to. Heather Wright, CTV News, Uppsala, Ontario.
Meteorologist Julie Atchison joins us now with more and a possible brief reprieve from all the smoke. Julie.
Thanks very much, Michelle. In terms of air quality warnings still in place across southern Ontario, although we have seen the air quality improve ever so slightly, air quality is still poor in southern Ontario. Now, we do have a weather system that'll be moving in as we head into the day tomorrow with scattered showers and thunderstorms. So a brief reprieve from the very high smoke levels at the surface. However, forest fires continue to burn in northwestern Ontario. Anytime our wind direction shifts to the northwest, that will usher in some smoke. So keeping an eye on the forecast for the weekend as well. But again, air quality has improved ever so slightly from what we were seeing earlier in the week. This forest fire smoke map shows all of that smoke that has been impacting southern Ontario, and it will continue as we head overnight. We'll have localized smoke first thing tomorrow morning. So once again, poor air quality to start your day. I'll take you through the forecast. We do have some sunshine on the way, but again, keeping an eye on this weather in terms of our wind direction and wind shifts. And again, that really impacts the surface air quality. I'll have all your local weather details coming up in just a few minutes. Michelle, back to you.
Thanks so much, Julie. 3 people are in hospital tonight after being critically injured in a morning fire in Old East Village. As CTV's Daryl Newcomb explains, the building was already facing enforcement for fire code violations.
Oh my God, who is that?
Friends, horrified as victims of a fire on Dundas Street, were rushed to hospital Friday morning.
Oh no,
Firefighters and paramedics seen providing CPR in front of 745 Dundas Street, even as efforts continued to extinguish the stubborn blaze that tore through the second floor of the building. Lisa Fay says her friend, a young mother, was one of several people pulled from the thick black smoke.
I'm pretty worried. They were working on her pretty hard. The officer said she had no pulse when they brought her out.
The quick actions and bravery of firefighters saw many people rescued from the smoke-filled building.
There were a number of rescues, including 3 individuals that were taken away by EMS in critical condition.
Witnesses described several dramatic moments when smoke was first noticed shortly after 10 a.m.
I was sitting across the street and I seen a little bit of smoke, and next thing I know, this guy's jumping out the window and this great big cloud of smoke come out.
I seen black smoke over by Hewitt Street. I came over and the flames were coming out the front top windows.
Daniel Boudreau was able to escape the basement apartment he's lived in for 18 years.
I woke up to smoke. The smoke detector was going off.
He doesn't know the people that were living on the second floor.
For about the last year, since the building has a new owner, people left, and it's been squatters, street people in there.
According to the London Fire Department, this building was already the subject of some ongoing enforcement activities for violations of the fire code.
London Fire Department's worked closely with this owner of this building, and I can confirm that there has been a number of fire code violations that have been noted, and charges are before the courts at this time.
The Ontario Fire Marshal's office was called to the scene to investigate.
We'll collaboratively be working with London Fire and London Police. Our role is to determine the origin and cause and the circumstances around this incident.
The investigation is going to become a police investigation just due to the nature of the injuries.
Arcade Street Mission is holding 5 spaces open for individuals displaced by the fire. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
A 41-year-old man with a violent past has been designated a dangerous offender following a shooting which left his ex-girlfriend paralyzed. With more on what this all means, here's CTV's Nick Paparella.
I just take it one day at a time. It's the best I can do.
On May 16th of 2023, the life of Paige Havel was changed forever. That's when she was shot in the back by her boyfriend in this apartment building on Talbot Street in St. Thomas. She survived, left paralyzed from the chest down, but her dog was killed. 41-year-old James Brown, a man with a violent and lengthy criminal record, took off from the scene, leaving her in a pool of blood. He was eventually tracked down by police and found guilty of discharging a firearm with intent to wound. Paige now lives in London.
Right now I'm on ODSP and it's not enough. Can't find an apartment, so I'm stuck in a long-term care facility.
After a 4-day dangerous offender hearing earlier this year, Justice Joseph Perfetto made his ruling, citing that Brown had 61 prior convictions. He decided there is a pattern of persistent aggressive behavior by Mr. Brown. He is and will remain to be a substantial threat. The judge said, I find that there is no reasonable expectation that a lesser measure other than an indeterminate sentence will protect the public. Justice Perfetto added, I sentence James Brown to a sentence of detention in a penitentiary for an indeterminate period. Mr. Brown will be designated to be a dangerous offender.
I like that fact so I can rest easier and not have to worry about him getting out.
As he was brought in, Brown was in handcuffs and leg irons. And during the proceedings, 4 officers were present inside the courtroom.
Now that James was designated a dangerous offender, I feel relief and hopefully nothing else will happen to anyone else now that I can move on with my life.
Later in the day, St. Thomas Police Chief Mark Roskamp issued a statement reading in part, "Today's decision reinforces the fundamental principle that individuals who repeatedly commit serious violent offenses must be held accountable for their actions, and that the principle of community and victim safety remains paramount." Meanwhile, Page is active on social media to spread the word about this type of violence.
Just trying to share my story the best I can so it doesn't happen to anyone else. Gave me so much anxiety, not knowing what would happen. Now that it's over, I feel awesome.
In St. Thomas, Nick Paparella, CTV News.
In a rare move, a mistrial has been declared after a conviction was registered against Frank Stronach. The 93-year-old was found guilty in June of sexual assault and indecent assault for historical sex offenses filed by 2 women. Today, he was granted a mistrial after his lawyers presented emails from one of the women with details that were inconsistent with her evidence at trial. It means Stronach now only faces sentencing in September on a single offense of indecent assault, even though he was initially charged with 12 offenses. Sarnia fire crews had to rescue a person from a garbage truck this morning. They say around 6 o'clock, a person was sleeping inside a dumpster when it was emptied into the truck. The patient was injured and needed to be stabilized before firefighters removed them through the back of the vehicle. The person was taken to hospital for treatment. It was a story out of southwestern Ontario that went viral across the country. A parking system hack that sent drivers somewhere they never expected. Now, weeks later, there's still no fix. CTV's Jeff Pickle has the latest.
It was back in early June when the Elora paid parking system was taken down.
Yeah, so I touched it at first because I thought it was a touchscreen. Apparently,
a system hack had people scanning the QR code sent to a pornographic website.
So I thought it was a legitimate joke, so I scanned the QR code myself.
But over a month later, and nothing has changed, with the system still offline.
The day of the hack, the garbage bags were put up, and
the program charges a parking fee for those visiting Elora, while residents can park free. Today, those visiting the community happy to see the system offline.
My sister was parking. We looked for signage, but we didn't end up paying, which worked out.
Like, we just noticed that the parking signs were covered where we wanted to park, so we just assumed that there was free parking.
Erica Montanero owns Blackbird Consignment on Metcalfe Street. She says there has been very little information shared from the township.
I believe that it was kind of implied by the township that it would be up and running soon. It's been over a month now. The communication hasn't really improved.
The township did not provide an interview, but say in the first month of the new paid parking system, they brought in over $144,000.
As a councillor, we're always looking for more revenue, and I'm looking forward to this coming back up and running as soon as possible.
Centre Wellington councillor Lisa McDonald says council has also been kept in the dark about why the system remains offline.
Councillors cannot get involved in operations with the township, so I cannot just say, hey, I would like an update right away. That's not how municipal government works.
Many of the tourists we spoke with say they don't mind the free parking, but local businesses say the lost revenue from that paid parking hurts the community.
If your reason for doing paid parking is because you want tourism to pay for tourism, this is not tourism paying for tourism because it's the busiest tourism season and there is no revenue coming in.
Councillor McDonald says more answers are expected in a council report due the end of the month. Until then, the free parking continues. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Elora.
To Toronto now, where not one but 2 MPPs resigned today. We get the details from CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief, Siobhan Morris.
Less than a week after a $16,000 hotel tab came to light, Stan Cho has resigned as Minister of Tourism, Culture and Gaming.
It's unacceptable. It's not tolerated. And Stan did the right thing.
The cost of hotel stays billed to taxpayers, even though Cho lives just 6 kilometers from Queen's Park. The allowance designed to help local MPPs in emergencies. In his resignation letter, Cho writes that he only claimed accommodation on nights the legislature sat late. And on late nights, he made a choice that was easier for him, not stopping to ask how it would look to someone working a double shift. Cho says he made a mistake and has repaid every cent. The opposition leader says it's not enough.
The people of Ontario demand answers, and I will say as well, he's not even the worst offender.
Public records show the parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Transportation racked up the biggest bill since 2023. Hardeep Grewal, who represents Brampton East, billed taxpayers for over $27,000. Nina Tangri from Mississauga Streetsville had almost 19 grand in hotel bills. And Charmaine Williams of Brampton Centre has been repaid close to $16,000.
They can all resign. It's not going to stop me from demanding answers from this premier, because you know what? The rot starts at the very top.
The premier wouldn't say if other ministers or parliamentary assistants should step down or if he'll overhaul all expenses.
We're changing that policy, and they know how upset I was, and we're going to move forward, and there has to be accountability, and we don't operate that way. That's not in our DNA.
The interim Liberal leader isn't sure that's the case.
It's a pattern of abuse of taxpayer dollars. But why are we surprised? The premier tried to buy himself a luxury private jet. There's a culture of entitlement in this government, and it starts with the premier.
The Minister of Sport has also resigned. It has nothing to do with expenses. Neil Lumsden is retiring from politics as of August 4th. That leaves the Premier with decisions to make about his cabinet and when to trigger 3 by-elections. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Later on CTV News, the Canadian Legion celebrates its 100th anniversary. On the markets today, the TSX lost 76 points, the Dow fell 407, the Nasdaq dropped 362. The Canadian dollar is up 1/10 cent today. Gold gained almost $27 an ounce. Oil added $3.50 a barrel. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened to slap more tariffs on Canada for wildfire smoke wafting into the United States. Trump blamed Canada for, quote, not properly maintaining their forests, saying, quote, the United States is being unnecessarily invaded by filthy, polluted, and unhealthy air, the quality of which is dangerous and totally unacceptable. In the Truth Social post, he also warned, quote, the cost of this pollution must be added to the tariffs Canada is currently paying. Meantime, Trump attended a FIFA reception with the agency's president ahead of the World Cup final on Sunday, making a joke about Canada and Mexico's involvement.
I say what we should do is you should choose the United States of America again. This time we'll leave Mexico and Canada out. But then what you do is which I was very nice to get them in, but what we do is you choose us, but you pick somebody else for the next one, and that will take some of the anger, hatred, and steam out of everyone.
The World Cup final will be played at Open Air Stadium in New Jersey, despite concerns of low air quality that could impact players and spectators. About 80,000 fans are expected to attend the final. BC Premier David Eby says he'll be telling Prime Minister Mark Carney that having no trade deal with the U.S. is better than a bad one.
I'll be pushing hard with other provincial leaders, I hope, on free trade across the country in goods and in services to make sure that we are able to sell as easily to other provinces as we can to the United States.
Eby and the other premiers are set to attend a First Minister's meeting next week. It comes after U.S. President Donald Trump declined to extend the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement known as CUSMA. Eby also says that any agreement that involves current U.S. tariffs on key industries in BC, like softwood lumber, would be worse than the way things currently are. CTV meteorologist Julie Acheson joins us one last time with our final look at the weather.
Thanks very much, Michelle. Our air quality continues to be poor in southern Ontario, and it will be heading into tomorrow as well, although air quality levels have come up just a bit or have improved slightly. 28 degrees are high today, 13 degrees are low, so comparing that with what's normal for this time of year, temperatures are close to where we should be. We've had a warm front come in that has shifted our winds to the south, so we're no longer under that direct funnel of smoke, so it is starting to mix out just a bit. We'll still have localized smoke at the surface, so there's no big weather system that's coming in to sweep it all out. In terms of smoke heading into tomorrow morning, yes, there will be localized smoke first thing. We do have a cold front on the move, and this will bring us a push of drier air as we head into Sunday. However, out ahead of it, we could see scattered showers, and there is the risk of thunderstorms. That probability will be ramping up as we push toward noon hour tomorrow. Forest fire smoke, I showed you this off the top of the show. It's really a great depiction of how this smoke has funneled into southern Ontario and really right across the Great Lakes Basin. Everywhere that you're seeing that this smoke is dealing with extremely poor air quality. Now, in and around the GTA today, we did see a brief reprieve from some of this smoke, and again, we are expecting those levels to come down ever so slightly as we head through the day tomorrow. Temperatures overnight, 18 to 20 degrees. It'll be warmer along the shoreline of Erie and Huron, about 23 degrees. This is our cold front that's coming in tomorrow. You can see some thunderstorms overnight possible towards the Bruce Peninsula, and then as we head into tomorrow morning, some showers in through Grey and Bruce County. That front will continue to drive southward with a band of scattered showers and thunderstorms developing in London after about noon hour, so our time risk window between noon and 3 p.m. This front will once again bring us a northwest flow, so we'll have to just watch if that smoke is able to mix down to the surface again as we head through the rest of the weekend. So really, forest fires, I mean, they're fires. They're unpredictable how they move. There's continuing to see more fires develop, even though there was rainfall today in northern Ontario. So this is going to continue to be an issue in southern Ontario in the coming weeks. As we take a look at the next 24 hours, this is that model showing you the close-up in the morning. That's the front that will push through the area, continuing to drive southward. And then as we head into your Sunday, the forecast model showing lots of sunshine, and it looks like it's going to be a nice day. So in terms of our forecast for your Saturday morning, localized smoke, showers and thunderstorms developing as we push toward a noon hour, and then mainly cloudy in the afternoon, and the winds will be shifting to the northwest. Over the next 7 days, we have sunshine expected across the area. Sunday, it'll just be if we see hazy sunshine or not. So hoping for one of those clear days and not allowing that smoke to mix down to the surface, although it will still be aloft. A mix of sun and cloud on Monday at 26, 24 on Tuesday with showers, and then cooling off Wednesday into Thursday. Daytime highs midweek 22 to 24 degrees with showers in the forecast on Friday. Midwestern Ontario, you will have a bit of localized smoke tomorrow in Huron and Perth. Grey and Bruce, you'll likely have showers as you kick off your day, especially towards the Bruce Peninsula with the risk of thunderstorms. The cold front will move through. The winds will shift northwest as we head into the evening. We have sunshine in the forecast Sunday, mainly cloudy on Monday with nighttime showers, and as we head through the rest of the week, daytime highs between 21 and 25 degrees. Michelle, back to you.
Thanks so much, Julie. A piece of television nostalgia is on sale in the Greater Toronto area. The asking price is a mere $4 million. This cute and rustic home, featured in the hit television series Gilmore Girls, is on the market. The house, built in 1875 and located in the community of Unionville, appeared in the pilot episode of the show before production moved to the Warner Brothers lot in California. The World Cup trophy is traveling in style. Before it arrives in East Rutherford, New Jersey this weekend, it'll be protected in a custom Louis Vuitton case. The Louis Vuitton trunk features the brand's signature touches, including the gold V and leather-lined interior. It's the 5th straight World Cup where the fashion house has designed the trophy case. A milestone celebration today for the Royal Canadian Legion. The nation's largest veteran advocacy group is turning 100. Canada Post even released a new stamp to commemorate it. But with fewer old veterans and declining memberships, many local branches are having to get creative to cover their costs and encourage younger members to join up. With the story, here's CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver.
In many areas of the country, the Legion is a community hub.
And you served with?
In Orleans, it's not just a place to eat and drink. It's a place to play cards and billiards, to learn to line dance, and even jam out.
It does have a real meaning, a meaning for people who can enjoy being here. And some come in because we got no place else to go.
The Legion has always been a safe space for veterans and their families, filled with specialized programs and supports. But in recent years, many branches struggling with declining memberships have started reaching further into the community, offering activities and events to make younger people and those who have never served feel more welcome.
We do want to attract those people because we want the organization to survive going forward. And it's all about remembrance.
The Royal Canadian Legion was officially founded in 1926 as a way to bring together veterans advocacy groups after the First World War. Today, there are more than 1,300 local branches that all support veterans, advocate for their rights, and ensure the act of remembrance continues.
Today in Ottawa, that 100 years of service by a special ceremony at the National War Memorial, all about the importance of sacrifice and service.
It's very important to remember the past, and particularly when somebody's given their life so that we can have what we have, you know.
A mission of remembrance and a dedication to military and RCMP members that the Royal Canadian Legion pledges to prioritize over its next 100 years.
To support veterans is our main goal, and of course that's what we're most proud of.
Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Locally, the Lambeth Legion is hosting a special celebration of its own tomorrow. The event features historical displays and community festivities. It's on between 1 and 8 at the branch on Kilburn Road. Well, that's it for us. Thank you so much for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Michelle Maluske. Have a great night.